So this is pretty funny. Trump is meeting with Romney. Now, I have two competing theories that I am maintaining in my head about Romney's inclusion into the Trump regime. And let me just start with the preface of like the idea that I would see it as a positive that Mitt Romney could be associated with a United States government is a perfect illustration of how we have lost all of our power on the left, at least in terms of these broader things, and just sort of like the desperate straits we're in. Now, I know that when Jill Stein wins in 2020, she'll get to pick her own Secretary of State. But until that time, Mitt Romney may be the least insane person in the administration.
Hello.
Now, so here's my two competing theories. One is the people surrounding Trump are completely inexperienced. This is not even a theory. This is fact. They're completely inexperienced. They have no governmental experience to the extent that they didn't even know where the Senate offices are relative to the White House type of thing. I think there's several of them who also want to sow a tremendous amount of chaos. Everything I've been reading about Bannon suggests this is his governing principle. They may see Mitt Romney as a threat. Everything I've learned about dynamics, it seems to me, I've learned through the 5 different administrations of Air America, where we had every type of possible failure possible. And there was one stage where there were guys, middle management guys who were running. They didn't want people who knew what they were doing to come on board to the company, because the first thing that would happen is they would lose their jobs, because it would become apparent they didn't know what they were doing and that they were bad at it. So one theory I have is that they're all fighting against the inclusion of Mitt Romney from coming in to the cabinet, because Romney has the stature to go meet with Trump and say, hey, Donald, just as an aside, these people don't know what they're doing. You can do much better than these people. The other theory I have is that these people do not want Mitt Romney in, but feel like they need to give a bone to Donald if he gets his proper praise from Romney. And at least this guy's going to be outside the White House, probably out of the country for most of the time, and away from the day-to-day operations of the administration.
Mitt's coming back. Cancel the cross burning. Boring.
But nevertheless, it led to this scene where they're having dinner. Mitt Romney looks like he's got that look on his face like, I gotta do it. It sort of feels like, how would you describe the look on his face right now?
I'm being violated right now, but I need to grin and bear it just like in prep school. I gave it, I received it, and that's life. Right now, I'm getting it.
I think he's doing the calculations for what the odds are that the internet lasts forever and this image is protected for prosperity.
So, kind of extraordinary. Right. I really, truly have no dignity in any way, shape, or form.
It's too bad it's not one of those photos where you see the seconds before it and seconds after it, because you wonder if he's not blinking, like, just doing this for the country, just doing this for the country.
It's the most forced half smile I've ever seen, because his eyebrows are still saying, no, I want to cry. And then look at Trump's look.
Trump is like, okay. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
This is great. Fantastic. I mean, I knew being elected president would be great.
If Romney has to keep his hands on the table there so that it doesn't look like he's actually servicing Trump underneath?
It's all right. I won't even unzip my pants. You're a fellow nominee. Just through the pants.
But so this is what Romney had to say coming out of the dinner. And I should say, they ate, they were in, was it in Trump Tower? Is that where they were eating? All right. So here's Romney after meeting with Trump.
Like old times. I've had a wonderful evening with President-elect Trump. We had another discussion about affairs throughout the world, and these discussions I've had with him have been enlightening and interesting and engaging. I've enjoyed them very, very much. I was also very impressed by the remarks he made on his victory night. By the way, it's not easy winning. I know that myself. He did something I tried to do and was unsuccessful in accomplishing. He won the general election. And he continues with a message of inclusion and bringing people together. And his vision is something which obviously connected with the American people in a very powerful way.
Man, that is... He was not like laying it on too thick. I get the sense that he was still like, I'm going to try and maintain some dignity.
A modicum of dignity, but just a modicum.
Just a tiny bit.
It's all right if it's through the pants
Hello.
and you don't enjoy it, and
It's
I don't
Mitt Romney.
and I don't reach climax, then it's not gay, Mitt. Don't worry about it.
It's all good, Mitt. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Tiffany, 6.5 or 7.5?
I noticed that he did like, it was interesting, revealing. None of that, like, I was shocked at how well versed he was about things.
He certainly knows that countries exist.
The words, I always like to close read the words, though. It was enlightening and interesting.
Yes.
Which is like...
Translates as terrifying and mortifying.
Exactly.
I had no idea the depths of this man's stupidity. And in that respect, I found it incredibly enlightening.
I would have voted for a Negro over him. I think that tells you a lot. But he won.
It was interesting in the same way that one could find interest in stumbling upon an ancient burial ground or even a recently dug and created burial ground. I mean, that would be interesting.
Like watching a documentary on wet work. What do you want?
Bill Corbett, he's an MST3K writer. He has a comparison of two images here we can cut to between that Romney-Trump photo and a scene from a movie. So hold up before you go to it, Kelly, and then...
What movie is this?
The Shining.
Oh, is this is from The Shining?
Really disturbing.
The new Shining or the old Shining?
There should be a child warning on this.
I don't remember. Yeah, this is
Fit.
So there is Donald Duck and Donald Trump and Mitt Romney. Romney has that look of like, when you had that aunt, let's say, that you didn't want to kiss as a kid because they were really like, or like a really, really old, I guess like great. I had a couple of great.
Come here, give me a kiss.
Great aunts who were like in their 80s when I was like 4. Or like their 90s, and
100 years old.
You just didn't want, like, you were just like, you got the hug and you were just like, I know I got to do it. And I got to keep the smile on my face. But I just don't feel comfortable. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as uncomfortable because, like eating a restaurant like that doesn't make Mitt Romney uncomfortable, right? Like it makes him uncomfortable to think about eating, like, remember when he got those cookies? And he's like, where'd you get these? From the
Were they from 7-Eleven? What's the matter with you people?
No, I made those. But so he looks so uncomfortable. And here is the juxtaposition of the shot. Who did this?
Bill Corbett of Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is a famous scene from The Shining. That's one of the scarier parts. And I do think there's some resemblance.
Like, oh. I didn't mean for you to see me in this
compromising position.
Trump does look demonic in that picture, though. I have to say, he's just looking like, can you believe it? Oy.
This is the peak. Pinnacle.
So I don't know what's going to happen with Mitt Romney. Obviously, people have different theories on what's the best way to play Donald Trump because he's not very bright.
All Iranian leaders should be offering a incredible Trump hotel deal in downtown Tehran right now.
There you go.
Any country on the list that you want to avoid conflict with should just be offering him personal enrichment.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.